Hey guys, welcome to our weekly news show here on Backstage with Millionaires. I'm Caleb, your host, and today we're going to be talking about JioMart's rapid growth, some good news for Oyo employees, Byju's latest acquisition, Uber's decision to bet on India, NetMeds' potential future buyer, all of the latest funding news, and more coming up right after this. Alright, so first up, let's talk about JioMart. Just 2 months after launching, JioMart is now India's largest online grocery platform. They are already seeing 4 lakh orders per day, that's 400,000 orders per day, compared to BigBasket, which sees somewhere between 2.5 to 3 lakh orders per day, and Grofers, which sees 1 lakh orders per day. Now, in the online grocery space, this kind of growth is definitely unprecedented. But it also makes a lot of sense when you realize that Reliance has a strong offline presence across the country with a network of more than 10,900 Reliance retail stores. This kind of wide coverage is what enabled JioMart to launch its services in 200 cities on day one, while its competitors are still only present in less than 50 cities. On top of that, JioMart's timing accelerated their growth even more. Today in 2020, during this pandemic, Indians are more willing than ever before in all of India's history to accept and adopt online grocery delivery. This strong start, combined with the strength of JioMart's parent company, Reliance Industries, could result in JioMart leading the online grocery industry with a 50% market share by 2024, according to a Goldman Sachs report. Now, last year in 2019, BigBasket and Grofers dominated this space with an 80% market share. And those two startups may very well look back on 2019 as the calm before the storm. You've got JioMart with that 50% market share prediction, and then you also have Flipkart and Amazon trying to get a piece of this pie. Alright, next up in the news, Byju has acquired edtech platform WhiteHat Jr in an all-cash deal worth $300 million, or 2,250 crore rupees. WhiteHat Jr offers live coding classes to students between the ages of 6 and 21. And what makes WhiteHat Jr unique in the edtech space is that it offers dedicated classes with one teacher for every student. Now, to most people, this probably seems like an inefficient approach. But in just 18 months, WhiteHat Jr has reached a revenue run rate of $150 million. That's 1,124 crore rupees annually. And they were able to accomplish this with just $11 million in funds. Post-acquisition, WhiteHat Jr will continue to operate as a separate entity as they scale their business in India and the United States. This acquisition will also enable Byju to expand into the coding segment as they plan on investing pretty heavily into WhiteHat Jr.'s technology platform. They're also planning on hiring more teachers as they expand into markets like Canada, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. Now, if you've been keeping up to date with India's startup ecosystem over the course of the pandemic, then you'll know that the edtech space has exploded. And so this acquisition might just be the beginning of this industry moving towards consolidation. This is Byju's first acquisition this year, but its competitor, Unacademy, has already acquired 4 different startups in 2020. So we're going to move on to the next news item in just a second, but before we do, if you haven't already subscribed, now would be a great time to do so. We post new videos every single week about Indian startups, entrepreneurs, and the latest news. Also, do go check us out on Instagram because we're going to be hosting some live interviews with Indian entrepreneurs there in the coming weeks and months. Alright, next up in the news, real quick, Oyo is restoring the salaries of their employees. Specifically, any Indian or South Asian Oyo employee with an annual salary of 8 lakh rupees or less, that's 800,000 rupees or less, will be receiving their full salary this month in August. That's about 60% of Oyo's employees. Oyo has said that the remaining 40% of its employees will have their salaries restored in a phased manner. This 40% of Oyo's employees have seen a 25% pay cut, and so 12.5% will be restored from October and 12.5% will be restored from December. In other words, by December of 2020, all of Oyo's employees in India and South Asia will have their salaries restored completely. Alright, next up in the news, Uber is hiring 140 Indian engineers to strengthen its tech teams in Hyderabad and Bangalore. The company is planning on building a number of different products in areas like rider and driver growth, delivery, marketplace, customer service, digital payments, risk and compliance, safety, and finance technology. This news is coming a few weeks after Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi said that the company was planning on shifting a bigger portion of its engineers to India in an effort to cut costs. costs. Also, earlier in April, Uber had appointed Byju to head its global finance technology team from India. Talking about Uber's tech hiring drive, Byju said that we're leveraging India's product and engineering talent to fuel our next wave of products and services. We're looking to hire engineers who are technical and passionate about solving complex problems in the mobility and delivery space. Alright, next up in the news, according to a number of different media reports, Reliance Industries is now looking to enter India's quickly growing online health space with the acquisition of online pharmacy startup NetMeds for approximately $120 million or 899 crore rupees. India's ehealth market, which was worth just $300 million 2 years back, is already pegged at $1.2 billion and is expected to grow into a $16 billion market by 2025. The entry of Reliance into the market could force smaller players like DocsApp, 1mg, Medlife, Pharmeasy, and Practo to consolidate in order to stay competitive. In fact, if you'll remember, just 2 weeks back, we had reported that Medlife and Pharmeasy were exploring a merger in order to leverage each other's capabilities. Alright, moving on to some funding news now. Video analytics startup Wobot Intelligence has raised $2.5 million, that's 18.7 crore rupees, in a pre-Series A round led by Sequoia Capital. Founded in 2017 by Tapan Dixit, Tanay Dixit, and Nadit Chabra, who I interviewed some time back, you can go check that video out up here if you're interested, Wobot offers an AI-powered video analytics platform that uses surveillance from CCTVs to help companies ensure that all standard operating procedures with regards to hygiene, safety, and security are being followed. Talking about the company's goals, Adit, who is the CEO of Wobot, said that Wobot's vision has always been to create a transparent and seamless workplace with 100% process compliance where the camera acts as a third eye and provides continuous feedback for employees on the job. This does not necessarily mean only pointing out violations, but also giving a pat on the back for following the right SOPs and adhering to compliances. The company is already working with clients like IRCTC, CureFit, Rebel Foods, and Blue Tokai. They're going to be using this fresh capital to strengthen their technology platform by introducing more use cases so that they can be personalized across industries like food, manufacturing, retail, and pharma. These funds will also be used to hire senior executives along with boosting the company's sales and marketing efforts. Alright, next up in the funding news, the Indian government is looking to invest 11.85 crore rupees, that's $1.2 million, into 112 Indian agritech startups under the Innovation and Agri-entrepreneurship Development Program in this financial year. These funds will be provided to startups who are focusing on spaces like agro-processing, food technology, and value addition. Through this program, the government is looking to drive innovation in the agriculture sector by encouraging and enabling young entrepreneurs to leverage technology to support the agriculture and allied sector. The government believes that these startups will not only help in increasing the income of farmers, but also create more employment opportunities in the sector. Alright, next up in the funding news, workflow automation platform Delightree has raised $3 million, that's 22.4 crore rupees from Accel, Axilor Ventures, and Alchemist Accelerator. Founded by Madhulika Mukherjee and Tushar Mishra in 2019, Delightree helps franchise businesses like gyms, hotels, and restaurant chains to digitize and automate their operations, like assigning tasks to employees, making a digital checklist of everyday tasks, and onboarding new employees. They also provide a centralized platform for making announcements for all employees across different franchise locations. Delightree will be using these fresh funds to get new clients on their platform with the goal of reaching more than 750,000 franchises. Alright, next up in the funding news, edtech startup Springboard has raised $31 million, that's 232 crore rupees, from investors like Telstra Ventures, Vulcan Capital, SJF Ventures, Costanoa Ventures, Pearson Ventures, Reach Capital, the International Finance Corporation, 500 Startups, Blue Fog Capital, and Learn Capital. Founded by Gautam Tambe and Parul Gupta in 2013, Springboard provides 6-month and 9-month-long upskilling courses in subjects like data science, AI, and data analytics in order to help students and employed individuals to get better jobs. Besides providing people with upskilling courses, Springboard also pairs its students with mentors to help them plan the rest of their careers. On top of this, they have a job guarantee guarantee program so that if you don't get a job thanks to their upskilling course, they refund the money that you paid for it. That being said though, Springboard claims that just 0.02% of their students have ever claimed a refund, and 94% of eligible students get placed within the first 6 months. Springboard plans on using these fresh funds to introduce more courses and also strengthen their partnerships with colleges and employers so that their students can get the best jobs. Alright, that is all the startup news that I have for you guys this week. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit that like button. And also if you have any comments or questions about the video, just leave a comment down below and someone from the Backstage with Millionaires team, probably me, will respond to you personally. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Backstage with Millionaires, and I will see you in the next one.